folks, welcome to another edition in Real Estate Experts. As always, I'm your host, Glenn Twiddle, bringing you leading real estate minds, authors and experts from around the country to help you, the home seller, achieve top dollar for your property in this uncertain marketplace of what's going on, not knowing where to turn. So I really am here to bring you the experts. Today, I'm honoured to be bringing you one of South Australia's top real estate minds, author, hired gun negotiator, he's a finance expert. The list of things this guy does is a mile long in helping people. I'm talking about none other than Darren Standish. Mate, thanks so much for being part of it, bud.
Hi, thanks Glenn, I really appreciate you having me.
Mate, my pleasure, man. But I tell you, the list of what you've done, tell me, what's led you to do, I suppose, the business of real estate in such a unique way? Because you're not just you're not even really, I wouldn't even consider you a real estate agent the way you run your business. Tell me about why you didn't just go down the path of traditional real estate.
Well, I suppose that's probably what I don't really feel I'm a real estate agent as well, so it makes it really hard for me to describe to people what I actually do. I suppose I sort of evolved. I used to be an accountant, and then I started getting into property development. I then had heaps and heaps of people asking me questions all the time about property development. I just knew there had to be a way that I could sort of give people some feedback, or give people an idea of what they should or what they shouldn't do in a structured sort of way, so that they could be really valuable for them. Over time, that sort of evolved. I just started collecting more skills. I ended up collecting a mortgage broking company, building up the skills of understanding the whole finance world. One of those things was real estate as well. Started selling off a few properties for people, and then along the way I sort of got quite experienced in the property development and actually building side of things, so I ended up getting a building license as well.
Wow.
So so it sort of evolved over time. I was sort of trying to find the most useful way to, I suppose, give the most value to my clients, but in the most efficient way, I suppose. I just want to make sure I'm there for them all the time, but unfortunately limited hours in the day. But not everyone that I dealt with in the subdivision side of things would end up developing their property just because it wasn't financially worth their while.
Yes.
And then I looked at ways of, if I had to sell their property, what was the best way to do that? And that's where I got to now, and that's sort of how I describe myself as a real estate agent without being a real estate agent, I suppose.
I love that so many agents literally can get into this industry with like a 3-day or a 5-day course. They slap on a name badge and they're an agent. Whereas you truly have done like the equivalent of a PhD, if there was one, and there isn't one, but it's almost like you've done a PhD in property, so that truly no matter what facet of the process someone needs some help in. It's like you were a consultant before you were getting paid to be a consultant, with so many people asking you questions.
And I suppose my role I see is more of a problem solver, I suppose, or probably even a mentor or someone that can sort of guide them through the process of property purchasing, selling, developing, finance, any of their particular roles. And I suppose the benefit of what I do is, because I don't only do one thing, I don't have to pigeonhole them and push them to one direction. I can then look at the best outcome for them over time, and then spend enough time with them to make sure they can achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, truly unique in this industry, and certainly that's why I love having people like yourself on the show. I've got to talk to you about Top Dollar. What led you to write a book? Because I read about so many of the mistakes you see people making, and I've seen not only in this product but in others. What are some of the highlights that the consumers, the viewers, should be on the lookout for when they're choosing an agent, when they're transacting a property, and are they all in the book?
Yeah, well, I suppose, again, part of this thing, I just want to make sure I give as much value as possible to my clients. I think this is a good guide to give people an overview of how, if they want to try and get top dollar for their property, some of these things aren't particularly difficult or particularly complicated, but some people just miss those simple things that can take them to the next level. And for a lot of people, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 extra on the price of their home is that might be a whole year's wage for some people. And
certainly take home, because the family home is often the last tax haven we've got here in Australia.
Yeah, and I think I find quite often people use, in the world of property, they don't see it as real money. I'll offer an extra 10 grand or offer them an extra 20 grand or we're going to have to knock 20 grand off the price. But that's real money. That's they've had to save for someone to save $10,000, that's that's
think
quite
about how long it'd take for most Australians.
Takes a long time. So
I love how I've seen the way you work, and it's almost like you're selling these people's homes as if you were selling your own. You truly are looking out for their best interests. It's refreshing to see in our business. Would it be too cheeky to ask I know you've got, I know this thing's selling like hotcakes. It's on Amazon and things like that, but can they get a copy of it? Can I be cheeky enough to ask for a copy for the viewers?
Well, yeah, actually, I've set up a special website only for people that have bought this DVD.
Okay, great.
It's if they go to www.freedomofsale.com, freetopdollarbook.com.au. They'll be able to get their own free copy.
We'll
there's
get
only limited a number of those though, so it's only for a period of time that's at the moment. But
Nice,
yeah, if there's any problems getting through there and we don't have any left available, just give me a call and I can try and help you out.
Beautiful. So I've seen it. I've heard the legends of what you do. Tell me about really how on earth, because I heard about this one particular open house you did where you had 60, 70 people, traffic jam in the street, they were lined up around the corner. How are you getting so many people to your open houses when other agents are reporting that they're having 3 people come through their open houses and you're getting 10 and 20 times that amount of buyer inquiry? Mate, there's got to be something to that.
Yeah, I suppose it probably all comes down to the marketing of the property and marketing the property in the best possible light. Obviously, initially, pretty much it's realestate.com and domain. The websites is pretty much where most people see the properties. So I need to make sure that I present the property in the best possible way from the start. So exceptionally high quality photos. I've gone around and found the best quality real estate photographer I could find to do that sort of glossy magazine style photos, which really appeal to people.
Nice.
The other thing that I do is put a nice perspective by including video in all of our marketing that we do. Nowadays, some people are a bit sceptical of photos. They've been photoshopped, they're a bit fake, or the rooms aren't as they appear. So by giving videos, it allows me to walk through the property and then actually try and sell the property as well as point out the features in the property as well. So
I do want to talk to you about the way you're leading the field in using video in your marketing. But tell me about the way that there's this very specific way that one of your buyers was talking to me about, that it's almost like, look, I hate to use the word bribe, but you're incentivizing buyers to come and have a look. Tell us about that strategy, because I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so in my research, I've just realised that at the end of the day, we need to get as many people there as possible, because in actual fact, you don't really know who's going to buy the property until you get people there. And quite often people don't know whether they like the property until they come and have a look at it as well. And so, even though they're not in the market for a property, if you can get some people there and get them interested, they might have a friend that might be interested. So just the more people, the more you can get the name out there about the property. The way I do that is I actually I hand out flyers to the local people, about 1,000 houses in the area.
Wow.
And obviously, like everyone hates junk mail nowadays. So to try and create a bit more excitement on that side of things, I go to a local business and ask them, say, hey, we're going to hand out 1,000 flyers to your local area. If you give us something free, we're going to go out and market your business. And likewise, at the same time, we're going to get some people to our open inspections. So they might be a free coffee or a free beer or a free donut or something free. That just gives people a reason to look at the flyer. And then they just pick it up, have a bit of a look at it and think, oh yeah, I'm not doing anything on Saturday. I might come to the local inspection, check out the house. The other thing I do, which is a little bit different, we've got little cards that look a bit like a wedding invitation. We give that out to our owner and we say, hey, we give them 20 or 30, they can talk to their friends, their family, everyone they know, get them to invite as many people as they possibly can. We actually door knock the local area as well, probably about 80, 90 houses, just say, hey, just want you to come, let you know, we've got an open inspection happening on the weekend, we really appreciate it if you came along. It just really helped the owner out, and obviously you might find it interesting to come to the open and see where the market's at. So that's basically what we do. We just market the property really well on the internet, firstly to get people there, and then secondly we just try and get as many people there as we can by just inviting all the local neighbours, get the owner to invite all their friends and family. So when that person comes to the open, if you are an interested buyer and you come to the open,
there's 40 people in a big lineup.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, does that let me just take the next step then. It sounds like that's a natural extension, that marketing and that excitement around the open home is that when your negotiation really starts, that helps you with the negotiation, because I've looked at some of the prices you're getting. You're getting $50,000 and $100,000 above the average price in the area. It's unheard of. Is that all because of that excitement wrapped around those inspections? Yeah,
exactly right. I look at everything I do has a purpose, and everything I do right from the very start leads up to that last conversation I have with the purchaser. Trying to get that last extra dollar out of the purchaser is all because of everything you do at the start. So having lots of people come to the open, having really high quality advertising on the internet, the high quality photos, the video, even just coming down to the brochure, the feel and touch of the brochure. When they come to our opens, it's actually an experience. When they come there, they know it's different from any of the other property they've seen. So straight away, they know this isn't the same as every other property, and I've got to try a little bit harder than I otherwise would for anything else. And so from that moment onwards, it's leading up to that final point where I'm saying, hey, this isn't the same as every other property. You have to try a little bit harder. And so at that point, I know then I've done the best I possibly can for the owner to make sure that person's going to pay the maximum possible price.
Wow. So when we're choosing a real estate agent, say, because I've got viewers all over the country. There's viewers in Brisbane. I know people in your area, down in Adelaide, they got an easy choice, right? They can choose you. How do we find the person who has those skills, who can actually walk the talk, as opposed, because every real estate agent can say they can do what you do.
Yep.
How do we find the Darren Standish if I'm in Brisbane? How do I find that guy?
That's a good question, Glenn. Actually, surprisingly, I had someone ask me this question last week. They gave me a call saying, "Hey, we've already got it. We've already narrowed it down to a few different agents. We've probably decided on the agent we're going to go with. So we're not really looking for an agent at the moment because I was just having a bit of a chat to them and just getting some advice. But they said, hey, we're trying to narrow down that final agent. What's the best way to try and do that?" So I sort of, I didn't want to take him through everything I did because obviously, he had the opportunity to use my services. So I basically narrowed it down to 3 questions. My first question to him was, I said, okay, which of those agents was willing to negotiate on their fees?
And are we looking for someone who will or won't?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Well, basically, my logic was, I said, okay, if they're willing to negotiate on their fees, and they can't, that obviously is a sign they can't justify the value they can create for you. Yeah. Because this person was selling the house for about $600,000, right? So the difference between negotiating fees and not negotiating fees, we're talking around about $3,000. Yep. So, which is, it's a fair amount of money out of your pocket, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that hard for that agent to justify how they can get an extra $3,000 when they sell the property. Yeah. On a $600,000 property, wouldn't be that hard. Every single one of the agents he talked to negotiated their fees and dropped their fees straight away. Wow. So the concern for me, and obviously remember, I wasn't going to be his real estate agent anyway. I was totally independent. My concern is that if they couldn't justify $3,000 they could get him, over a $600,000 property, it's not a good sign.
Well, what are they going to do when they're negotiating? It's almost like that seller you're talking about out-negotiated the professional negotiators.
And straight away, their job is to negotiate on the property and get you top dollar. And this is money coming out of the agent's pocket. Yeah. That's his money he's giving away, let alone if it's your property where he doesn't even care. So okay, that's question 1. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the agent who won't drop their fee and can justify as long as if they don't justify their fee, then you shouldn't go with them either.
If the answer is just no, then that's maybe not so good. Yeah. Wow, okay. Anything else? What other questions? You said 3.
Yeah, the second question was which one was willing to negotiate on marketing? And which one said, actually, it's a bit, we can save yourself some money by leaving out some of the marketing side of things, and then, maybe we can help you out on that side of things.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so with the marketing side of things, does that mean initially they were actually selling marketing that wasn't necessary? That's
what concerned me as well, because at the end of the day, because I put so much time and effort into what I do, everything I do has a purpose. And if I couldn't justify the value in what I did, I wouldn't be doing it.
It wouldn't be there.
So every single piece of paper, everything I have at an open inspection, almost every word I use is for a purpose. Yes. So when someone says, they say, hey, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars for marketing, and you say, oh, I don't want marketing, and they say, oh, that's fine, we'll take that out. That just shows that they're putting stuff in there for no reason whatsoever. So again, that was a red flag for me. Unfortunately, for the guy I was talking to, every single one of the agents he talked to said, that's cool, we'll just discount the marketing for you. So.
Wow, okay. So we've got a fail on 2 out of 3. Mate, what's the third one?
A third one I said was basically, which of the agents said we should go to auction?
Okay.
And
are you a pro auction, or are you, which side of that fence do you fall?
Well, I suppose where I'm at a bit different to a lot of agents. I think this is probably where a lot of agents let themselves down, or not let themselves down, but they probably don't understand their role in the process of selling your home. The marketing side of things, some agents are better or worse at that side of things, but that's number one, is to get lots of people in open. And obviously the fact that I get 70, 80 people there, I'm probably doing that okay. Some of the agents, when they're getting 2 or 3, that they're not doing their property justice, basically. Yes. If you're only getting 2 or 3, that's not enough people to see if they like the property.
Well, you can't mould your big outcome without those multiple people with which to do it.
Yeah, so that was number one, make sure they can market the property well and get lots of people there. Yeah. Number 2 is to negotiate really well on the property. So once I get all these people here, I need to get an offer. And once I got one offer, I definitely need 2. Because at the end of the day, you're going to try a lot harder if you know you're competing against somebody else. Yeah. I'll do whatever I can to get that second offer. Right. I don't care what the second offer is, I want another offer.
Right, so you're saying that question you're asking, when you're saying, are they pitching auction to you, you're saying you use that patented Darren Standish method to get that competitiveness of an auction, but without the ick factor of an auction.
Yeah,
is that what
I suppose my concern too is quite often when I get called in to have a look at a property, they ask me, what do you think it's worth? And I sort of say to them, you know, it's important to have an idea of where it's in the market, but in reality, it doesn't really matter what I think your house is worth. You know, probably doesn't even, in all honesty, it probably doesn't matter what you think the house is worth. In reality, it's what the market thinks it's worth. I suppose that's part of the benefit of me getting so many people at the auction. They're the market. You know, even if you say, oh, they're just my friends and neighbours and all the guy down the road and whatever, they actually know a lot more about your property and what your property's worth than you do probably, or what I do.
Most agents do sometimes.
Yeah, exactly right. So by getting lots of people there, something I do a little bit different than your average agent too is I get a lot of feedback. I always have 2 people at an open inspection, so we've got someone to take down the details.
That's another thing we should be on the lookout for
definitely.
when we're looking for the Darren Standish, is if they've got a couple of people at the opens there to serve.
Yeah, so I have 2 people there, one to get their name and details, and myself in there being able to sell the property, walk around with them, but also it's building rapport and getting feedback and getting an idea of what they think of the property. So when I get to that point of negotiation, when I start to get ideas of where people are at, I have a good of a feel of the pros and the cons and what they're thinking. I also, everyone that comes in, I get them to guess what price the house is going to sell for.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. I haven't heard too many other agents do it. And most people want to keep everything a secret when you go to an open inspection. They keep it all to their chest. So what I do is I actually, if they guess the price exactly, then they get $1,000.
Wow. Have you had anyone win it?
Not yet. I got some really close ones so far. Yeah, I was a bit worried for a little while there.
Yeah, nice.
But also, if they get closest to the price, then they get a gift hamper. Big, massive gift hamper that's sitting on the table there. Everyone can have a good look at it.
So again, I'm seeing a formula here that you're incentivising them to give you honest feedback of where that property sits, because they're trying to win the prize.
Exactly right.
Or the $1,000.
I'll have people there saying, oh, but then they've got that crack in the wall there, and made $347. $450. They'll try and make up because they know they have to get the dollar. They have to get it to the dollar, so they're trying to guess what the exact dollar is.
And are they listening to what other people's offers are?
They try and look at what other people guessed and do the higher or lower so they don't get the same.
Nice, like on The Price is Right. You do $1 more and that's great.
So,
what a great strategy. And it's so unique that it's actually adding a bit of fun to a business that's otherwise almost very stern. Yeah,
because like I said, we've got to try and gauge where the market's at. And say we've got our property on the market at $450. If everyone's guessing the price at $420, we know we're probably a bit over the market.
Yeah.
And so when we get an offer at $440, it's probably a fairly fair offer.
Wow.
Whereas if everyone's guessing the price at the $470, then we know, if someone puts an offer at $440, you can probably hang on a little bit longer, and we might, because everyone else thinks it's worth $470, so let's hang on a bit longer and see if we can get a few extra dollars. So it gives feedback to the owner really quickly, and so then they can gauge of when offers start coming in, where the market's at.
Wow. So the next thing I want to ask you is getting back to that auction thing. So it does sound like you're not using the auction method of sale, unless it's really necessary, then of course it's one weapon in your arsenal. But what are some of the challenges that if the agents just blindly pitch auction for everything?
Yeah, I suppose with the way that I do things, I get so much feedback along the way, and I start this excitement, and I'm creating the auction environment. But where I see the auction itself lets itself down is with the auction, it's all open. Everyone knows what everyone else is bidding. And remember, I'm not necessarily, I'm trying to gauge where the market's at, but in reality, it's not even real what the market thinks it's worth. It's what that individual thinks it's worth. And I think that's the danger with auction, is that you're getting a small collection of people to try and outbid each other. Firstly, one of my main concerns is auctions quite often exclude a lot of people. Probably 90% of people just hate auctions, so they don't want to go in the first place.
Mate, I'm embarrassed to say I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I just discount a property from auction, even though I can, I suppose, buy at auction.
Yeah.
I just like that little window where I can think.
Yeah.
I like that for
and
myself.
the other thing too with auction, there's a lot of people that are subject to finance, so it's subject to the sale of the house, so it's subject to certain conditions. I don't like the idea of just excluding all those people.
Yeah.
Because say if I've got my property on the market at $450, if someone else comes in saying, hey, I'll offer you $550, but I've got to sell my house first. I've already got a contract, cash unconditional, it's ready to go. It's going to take 3 months to settle. If I can get you an extra $100,000, you have to wait 3 months. You're going to
give it to. You know what I've found? I think some of those people like me, we are the ones, because we know we buy emotionally. We like that little window of space and that little window that you're talking about. But us emotional buyers are the ones who pay more.
Yeah, exactly right. And I find, and you actually find, remember I've come from the mortgage broking sphere, they always say never buy unless it's subject to finance because it's just too risky. Because not necessarily you haven't got your finance sorted, but the valuation might not stack up, or there might be an unpaid, Optus bill or something. Once you're locked into that contract, you're locked in. So a lot of people get advised by their mortgage broker not to buy auction. So that's another reason. I just don't like excluding people from that process. Yeah. My concern about auctions is that everyone will keep bidding, until people stop bidding at the end of the day. So let's say it's on the market at 450, or we think it's going to be 450. Someone stops bidding at 440. That guy's willing to go to 470.
We'll never know.
He actually got a discount.
Yeah, because the underbidder stopped at 441 or
Exactly
whatever.
right. Yeah, and so then the agent can go back and say, hey, we got really close. It's really good. We had a really successful result. But in reality, that guy got a discount.
I love how you're getting the benefit of the auction competitiveness, but without the limitations of what you're describing.
Yeah, exactly
there.
my concern.
It's magnificent.
And also you get to, with the auction environment, it's quite impersonal. You don't get to know what that person's situation is and whether they're willing to pay or whether they're not. In my environment, I spend a lot of time. I spend hours with people just really trying to understand their situation. And I can then pass that feedback to the owner. And sometimes it's not the price. Sometimes it's terms or conditions.
And for the viewers, just so the viewers know, your job is to get that top dollar for those owners. It's not to serve the buyers. Your job is to be honest, fair, professional, and friendly with those buyers. But your job is to represent the sellers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. And really, I suppose I don't feel bad about making people spend what they think the house is worth, and they don't feel bad about it at the end of the day either. The fact that everyone else thought it was worth 320 or 420 or whatever, and they end up spending 470. They saw the value in the house and they could see the benefit in it. Because at the end of the day, if my 90-year-old mum lives on the street and my kids go to local school and I work in the next suburb over, that's a lot more valuable, that house to me, than if it's an investor from Darwin. They don't care. They'll just buy the next one over. So I suppose that's my role, is to really talk to people and to really understand what their situation is and pass that feedback back to the owner. The owner might not want, subject to a sale of the house. They might choose to exclude that, but that's their choice. Not just exclude them from the start without having any idea, because at the end of the day, terms and conditions are just a negotiating tool, and it's not my job to decide I'm going to exclude them straight away because of those conditions. It's the owners then to decide, okay, this is what I like and this is what suits me. So.
Wow. Is there anything else that you'd add to that, how to choose the Darren Standish, for want of a better word, how to choose the best agent in an area? Are there any other criteria we can be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I think probably a lot of these things are just showing the value the agent's providing to you, really.
How would you prove it? How would you prove it? How would we have an agent that, because every agent that I've ever met in my life could sit there in a half-hour listing presentation and talk the talk. How can we prove it conclusively that we know?
My advice to you is probably just go and see what the agent does. Don't tell them, send your wife that maybe has not met them before, but just actually go and see what happens, because a lot of agents do talk the talk, but in reality they may or may not walk the walk.
So send them to their open homes.
Yeah, go to their open homes, have a look at what's on the internet, see the way it's presented on the internet. For some reason, I don't know why, some agents think we try and keep everything a secret. In my philosophy, it's just being open and honest as possible with everything, basically. So when I put an advert on the internet, I tell them everything. I talk them through the whole property. My photos are really clear. My video is clear. I give them all the descriptions, all the specifications, everything they could possibly want to know about the property. In reality, when I put a property in the market, I don't get any phone calls. I don't get any emails. I don't get any inquiries. They all just come to the open.
Wow.
Whereas some agents nowadays, they think, I'm not going to tell them the address, because then they can call me.
Because I want the inquiry.
I'm not going to put the plans on there because they can call me and I can tell them what's on there, or I won't put the all that sort of stuff. I think the days of trying to be secret, I think people just know too much nowadays.
Well, consumers, we want it now. We want it online, and we don't want to work, And so it's almost like what you're saying, when people have watched the video and done all that research based on the great information you're giving, when they do come to the open, does it feel like they know the property and yourself more? Is it almost like that first inspection physically is almost like their second inspection?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's really important. I think the open inspection process is part of the sales process as well. When I have my open inspections, it's basically like the circus has come to town. So when they see your property, it'll stand out from every other. I have big 5-metre high flags. I have sausage sizzles, a coffee machine. I have tables set up with guides and booklets, and we have guess the price competitions. We have a whole pile of other things going on. So straight away, it just puts them in a good mood from the start. I have little goodie bags for the kids. In reality, it's not going to sell the house. So they're not going to buy the house because they get a balloon for the kids.
That's right.
But if they're in a slightly better mood than they got there, you've got more chances of selling the house if they get there already unhappy from the start. So, so everything just leads that, just a good vibe, a good feel for the people as they're coming looking through the home. And that just might be slightly different if they go to another agent that doesn't show that interest or concern for the property.
I love the way you're using video for them to meet you and meet the property ahead of time. Tell me, does that rapport, both feeling good at the open, feeling like they know you when they get to the property, is that rapport helping you with the negotiation process and getting those top dollars?
I suppose the thing is, because I'm so open, to be honest, I'll tell them things that are wrong with the property, because they know what's wrong with the property. They'll see it. You know, there's no point keeping it a secret. So if I know something, everyone sees a particular issue, I say, here's the issue. And if it's an issue that's going to cost money, I'll then either, you know, mention that the owner can fix that issue, or I'll get a quote and say, this is what it's going to cost, $1,500, and that's fixed. You know, and so rather than trying to ignore the issue, which everyone sees, and try and keep it a secret, just acknowledge it and say, this is the issue, $1,500. If you like, we can knock that off the price, or you can, you know, pay full price, and we can incorporate the fixing of that, whatever. So straight from the start, they can feel I'm trying to do the right thing by them. And the good thing about though is, again, I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth all the way through. So I am a nice guy, even though though I'm a real estate agent.
But it is true, isn't it? The consumers out there do think that all real estate agents are created equal, and they're all, you know, you could, if you don't have one, you can choose another. But the difference is chalk and cheese, isn't it? You would have seen that in your career.
Yeah, and I think the benefit of just trying to be as open and honest with people is they'll be open and honest with you. You know, which the benefit of that to my owners when I'm trying to sell their house, I can come back and give them feedback. People actually tell me how much they earn, how much money they got saved up, they're about to have a kid, their kids are at a local school, you know, all these sort of things, which that's things that the owner then can make a decision on, do they want to sell it to them or not. And that seems crazy, but quite often it's not about the money. It's about, you know, quite often these people have grown up, their kids have grown up in this house, and so they have a real personal relationship with this home. And so when they're selling it, they want to know, they sort of feel a bit like custodians, that they're handing it over to the next person to look after the house. So then when they can feel that it's someone that's going to, you know, that they think is going to look after the house and the way they want, you know, the money is, you know, the money is important, but it's not the only thing. And so the fact I can pass all this information back, because I build up the rapport with the buyers, can just leave the owners with a good feeling of knowing they got top dollar because they made sure they paid the value they were willing to pay, but also, you know, left it with someone that's going to value the house. Because obviously an investor from Darwin doesn't care.
Nice.
You know, so.
Yeah, nice. So, mate, wow, I really hope that if you can, please come up to Brisbane and join us because you're the exact sort of expert. We've got John McGrath, and our headliner is Sir Richard Branson. So, mate, you've got to be there for that. So, mate, if you can come up for that, I'll be honoured.
Oh, man, I'd be honoured. That'd be unbelievable. I really appreciate the invitation, and
cool.
I'd do everything I can to try and to make that happen. That'd be amazing.
Mate, let's do that. Folks, that's in the can, another edition of Real Estate Experts. Make sure you avail yourself of Darren's book. It is a great read. It'll help you achieve top dollar. So get that from the website that we've just put up there. And just on my behalf, I'd just like to thank you again, mate, for being with me and sharing some of those insights for the viewers to get top dollar for their property, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Until next time, folks. Bye for now.